Pete Hegseth says America is going to achieve drone dominance. And he has a nice theatrical video for us showing that. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm a little skeptical on that one. I think America's way behind. And by the way, we get all of our parts from China. China. Oh, we got a lot of work to do there, but we'll see.
And Pete Hegseth released this video yesterday.
We know why we were put here. We were brought here to rebuild the military, match capabilities to the threats of today. So while our adversaries have produced millions of cheap drones, before us, we were mired in bureaucratic red tape. Not anymore. In June, President Trump issued an executive order unleashing American drone dominance to bolster our drone industry and arm our warfighters, because that's what we're all about. So today, I'm rescinding restrictive policies that stifle production, and this will unleash American manufacturing and the ingenuity of our warfighters by doing 3 key things.
I do appreciate the theatricality. Like, this is just the world that we live in. So
you said it yesterday. We have a content president, and I feel like his team has now adopted that, and they're becoming a content team.
You have to.
From the live cabinet meetings to now every time Pete Hegseth does something, I feel like he has a bit of that.
Have you seen, it's one of my favorite memes, real estate agents, when they realize that they have to keep doing TikToks to sell houses, and they're like crying as they like do the latest dance. Oh God, that makes me laugh. In teaching entrepreneurship, I find myself constantly, people will ask a question. I'm like, you have to learn social marketing. That's how people interact with the world. There's no way around it. Like, there is nothing better. Word of mouth is always going to be the best, but guess how you get to word of mouth? You do it socially.
Do we really want our executive branch to act like a bunch of influencers? I don't know.
Yes. Yes. What do you mean? So hold on.
Hey guys, live from the White House. We're about to sign these executive
Drew,
orders.
Yes. Think about, have you listened to how people talked 200 years ago?
I haven't listened.
It is hysterical. Like, when you do, and when I say listen, I mean like in an audiobook, they'll read their direct quotes. It is hilarious. They speak with a level of elegance, Drew, that makes it abundantly clear that they are going to be remembered by posterity. It's like, I'm like, bitch, you're talking to your wife. Like, what's happening? Things just change.
Yeah.
The way that we talk changes. The way that we interact changes. Like, there's a newscaster accent coming to you live from, right? Like, if even point. AI can copy, because there's a pattern to the way that they talk. There's a accent for influencers. So I'm not saying that the White House needs to adopt that, but we need to understand that this is where the world is going. When you're living in a transitional moment, it's just so in your face because you watch the change happen, but kids grow up now just assuming this is the way the world has always been. Like, think about it. To your daughter, like, a world without social media, just like, I guess she sort of knows that it exists, but like, have you ever really thought about there was a world without electricity? Not really. It's just like, well, there's a thing in the wall and I plug in.
Yeah.
Everyone just grows up assuming that this is the way the world is, was, and always will be. And of course it's not. Every moment is transient. And, 15, 20 years from now, the world's going to be very different. We're going to have robots everywhere. When I say that we do, in fact, want politicians to sound like influencers, what I mean is we want them to be authentic. We want them to be on camera. We want them to have podcasts and do lives, so that we can, like, when I first started live streaming versus how I am now, oh my God. Like, when I first started doing the game stream, I was still in that mode of like, okay, what can I talk about? What do I not talk about? Versus now I'm just like, I'm going to talk about whatever I think, whatever I believe I'm going to say. And I have no doubt compilations at some point will be made about all the asinine things that I've said. Is what it is.
I like that they're going directly to the people to unveil these new things, and I don't have to wait for Fox or CNN or another news outlet to kind of distribute it for me. On the other hand, though, going back to the free speech thing, do I want that transparency if I'm not sure that 100% of the things they're saying are truthful?
They're not truthful at all. Politicians lie, cheat, steal, spin. It is the nature of man as a political animal. Knowing that they're doing that, don't you want as much of that to be in your face as possible so you can read body language, you can look for consistency, inconsistencies, you can look for tells. A novice can beat an experienced poker player in a single hand, but if you play with him for 3 hours, there's no way. Because they're going to start to map all the things that you do. And so I'm just saying, man, love or hate Trump, the fact that he does so much in public really does allow you to begin to map him. There's a quote I heard once, I forget who said this: when we speak, we cannot help but reveal ourselves. And so I'm just saying, get people speaking.
What are you guys saying? You elected a reality star president. Now you want policy instead of circus?
Yeah, I don't have the view on that people have of Trump, that he's not being sincere and he's not really trying to get things done. And I couldn't be more devastated by the big beautiful bill. This is not me sticking up for Trump. This is me just saying I think he actually is trying to get things done to make America great as he sees it, that we are strong militarily, that we're able to withstand threats, that the rest of the world, I mean, to be really gross, the rest of the world cowers at our feet, thanks us for our attention, thanks us for access to our economy. Like, he's definitely got that, like, arrogance to him of, like, we're the best and I expect everybody to bow down. You can think that's gross, but it's like he really does have a vision for what he's trying to do, and he's trying to do that thing, and people will often criticize and be like, no, he doesn't believe in anything. Yes, he does. It's just that he is somebody who believes that to get what you want, you've got to be willing to say one thing, do another, change your mind on a dime, watch the polls and be like, okay, am I doing this right or not? Because he wants to be in power. He wants to get things his way. He wants to always have the cards in the negotiation. Just because a lot of the words that I just said are gross, people act like he doesn't have an agenda or he isn't being consistent with the things that he's aiming at. You will be constantly confused by the way he moves if that's how you're trying to map him. If you think, he just blows with the wind. He doesn't blow with the wind. He watches the polls and goes, I know I have to stay in power. Like when he said, and again, this was so devastating to me, hey, to all my fiscal conservatives out there, remember, we have to get reelected. So let's give people more free shit. And I was like, wow, okay, well, yes, this is god awful. And that is the sound of him stamping on the accelerator as we head straight towards the cliff. But he's very consistent on doing whatever it takes to get elected.
This reminds me of the Andrew Schultz clip that's been going around.
I believe when Trump, everything he campaigned on, I believe he wanted to do. And now he's doing the exact opposite thing of every single fucking thing.
I don't know what he's done. Yeah, exactly to your point. If you tell me, it's easier for me to believe you wanted to do all these things if any of them were happening in the way that you said they would.
To that point, like there'll be people that they'll DM me and be like, you see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for. I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending.
If you go back and look at some of our earliest conversations, I was like, the one fear that I have is he is making all these big statements. We're going to end the war. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I'm like, he's going to have to back this up, because if like with the whole taco idea, if taco were actually true, then world leaders would just be like, oh, fuck him. But the reality is that despite like hokey pokey tariffs, looks like they really are going to be on to some very large degree. He really did bomb the shit out of Iran. He's not going to have any leverage with Putin if he's not willing to give weapons to Ukraine. It depends on which thing you were hoping he would follow through on. If you were hoping he would follow through on an isolationist policy, okay, then I totally get why people would be angry. But if you believe that he was going to reorganize the world order such that America stayed on top, then he's playing that game out.
Personally, I thought he was going to be marching on this beat, and some of those things necessarily haven't come into fruition.
I am completely befuddled by his big, beautiful bill in terms of that is blind, deaf, I don't know, to the realities of the physics of money. So the only thing I can imagine is he and Besant and Lutnick, who's somehow been completely relegated. So I don't know if it's just that people didn't respond well to the way that he talks.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen him in a while neither.
Poof, gone.
Yeah.
They have to be in a back room somewhere going, we're going to grow our way out of this. And so let's lower taxes so that more investment is made, lower regulation so that people can build more. Let's be the hub of AI. Let's shore up our debt problem with crypto and specifically stable coins, just so nobody thinks I'm being vague there. Just watch, by the midterms, we're going to crush. And so because I can still track what could be his internal logic, it doesn't mean that it is, but it's like, that that would be perfectly consistent with the way that he's behaving. Is that smart? Not from where I'm sitting, but I also don't think that I should be able to be the czar that makes all these decisions. Again, this comes down to, if people were like, he actually is going to end the war on day one, and he actually is going to make sure that we are protectionist. I don't know that he ever said isolationist, but protectionist, then I would get being irate.